Okay. I put my meeting chat here. Hi, good morning. Good morning, everyone. My oh, a bit of a cold yesterday. Okay, there is Juvena. Okay. Hi, Chanel. Somebody say good morning. I like it. I also see one avatar, purple hair, pink shirt. Really like it. Can wait a few more minutes. In the meanwhile, just show this is me. How can I do this? Okay, best. Jinting, Guanjing, let me know if it's fine like this. So I remove the all the people on the side. Perfect. Yes. Hi guys. Good morning. In the meanwhile, good, perfect. So in the meanwhile, I welcome to today's class, website optimization. Tuesday morning. I hope everyone is okay, up. Not a very deep voice like mine. I always have this kind of voice in the morning. Lately, even more because, yeah, I don't know, maybe the weather. Not sure. Okay, I think we can, okay, we can wait just a couple of minutes, 2 minutes, and we start. So in the meanwhile, I can tell you a bit more about me. I'm Martina. And by my name, I suggest you, I'm Italian. I've been living in Singapore for 13 years now, quite some time. I arrived here that I was a student, and I stayed. Like it's a fantastic country. I really like it. Italy also very good, but you know I'm going back well once or twice per year to see my family, my parents, and it's nice to have a bit of both world. And I'm a person that actually really suffer a bit the cold, so the fact that here is always summer and is for me is not extremely excruciating hot. Maybe this is why I'm okay with the hot here, with the warm weather here. So I stay. Okay, so let's move slightly forward. If I can. Yes, okay. So just to introduce also Hatch, and I hope most of you maybe already knows Hatch Media House. I'm partnering with a media house because it's digital, it's a design, a marketing agency, and Hatch is partnering with organizations, big size, small size organization, in their journey to navigate the digital world, to amplify their presence and create a resonance with their communities. Today, we are talking about website optimization. Here, if you want to just quickly type on the chat on the side, what you think is website optimization, and if you heard about this term already, there is no right or wrong answers. Can say can be everything and nothing. Website optimization. Let me see if somebody's writing. I just check. Okay, Juvena says great user experience. Correct. I'm a user experience designer, so I will say that you, Juvena, you got 1 point. Not only. If somebody else can tell me. So this slide is helping you a bit, right? Because why website optimization is really important. Because one thing is to have a website out in the web and fine, it's okay, pretty good looking, but then it has to reach your audience, right? It's like opening a shop and have nobody that comes in. Quite a waste, I would say, waste of time, waste of money. So it's really important because to enhance your website using audience insight and SEO, that's what we need, CEO. And as well, we are going to follow practical design and marketing strategy for immediate improvement. No rocket science, no crazy tools or anything, everything that is free and accessible for everyone. So indeed, this session will equip you with ways to approach building, important, and optimizing your website with confidence. It's not a big black wolf doing websites. Like I was thinking way in the beginning, it's not. Okay. So what we're going to do today, so we are going to tailor website aesthetics and functionality to user preference. And this is why also Juvena was good on saying that. We're going to see strategies for creating engaging and search engine friendly content. And we're going to see a selection of free tools like Google Analytics for data-driven decision making. And we are going to see later how data are extremely important for the website, and not only the beauty part, not only the aesthetics to attract the people on your storefront, but also to start to understand why people are there and why they are not. And this kind of information they're gonna only tell us by the data, okay? So we need to set a primary goal for the website, right? We need to target audience. We have to think of the people whose attention you want, right? Which are your perfect audience? Which are your perfect user, right? We need to hook. We have to think what might catch their attention and then get them curious, right? People will need to have, they will see what they interest. If not, they will not lose time seeing it. And take away, we need to think what they will like to remember and remember the website for, right? Because it has to be useful, it has to solve a problem, it has to give something back. So based on the action you want your audience to take on your website, you have to list a specific website goals and objective that might fit what you want to achieve. And you have to get as specific as you can. Here, we just list down 5 examples. They are pretty easy, and I think everyone will see the useful of having them. So the goals will be discover. So discover your brand, story, or impact. Explore. The user has to explore your products or services. Try and compare. So the user needs to see if there are demos or a way to enjoy some trials, sign-ups before buying fully your product. Buy, of course, it's important. You need to make money. So it's important to have a clear lead generation and a purchase order. And share, because these two have to amplify the message of the product and services. The user journey doesn't have to stop when the person buys once. We should encourage it to buy once again and to share the same experience with other users and audience. I will increase the pool of audience that will later on visit the website. So we need to pick one goal to begin with and think of your ideal website visitor, your audience, or what we also call your user persona, if you are familiar with that, like an archetype. So think about an ideal person, doesn't have to really exist, but a person that will be perfect user, the perfect buyer for your service or product, okay? So think about what's their journey. How they will discover your website. Do they see it on advertisement on Instagram? Do they see it because they handle a flyer, a friend told them, word of mouth? Think about that. What they will explore on your website, what they will see, what they will see first, second, and third, which kind of information will be displayed in which order. Think about then what they will try and who they will try to compare with. Because of course, there might be similar product around the internet is quite vast. So try to see which are the competitors, what do they offer, and why you can offer something that is actually better? Why will they buy into your product? So why you are offering something more unique, that something that might solve the solution, something that might save their time and something like that. How will they share your brand? How they will recommend your website or your product to somebody else? Is there a mechanism? There could be a mechanism like promotional, classic, like sharing, this product will get you next time a 10% to you and 10% to the other person discount. Those are, marketing strategies, but also try to understand why are extremely important. Okay. So you have to decide the website pages and the content flow, so the journey where the user and the audience will go from the web page to the list of products, the specific product, and the purchase cart and the journey based on this answer. Okay? So far, all good, guys? I think so, right? Tell me it's nothing very, very crazy. You can also use yourself as a user persona if it's very difficult to think about somebody else. But I think that this concept seems very straightforward, right? Very, very obvious, but not everyone will really think when they design a website about all of these points. So really, you have to design thinking I have your audience in mind, not designing the website because you like or you find useful. Because the percentage of having somebody like you, it's very small. You need to figure out what's a wider range of people that might like this storefront. You have to imagine your website as a storefront. Like if the people like it, they'll come in, right? It has to be engaging. It has to be well designed. It has to be not messy, right? Good. If people like the experience they have inside the shop, they will come again, for sure. They will make a purchase and they will recommend it to others. And they will remember you. They will remember that experience that is pleasant. It was straightforward. It was very easy to accomplish the task that they wanted to do. So you have to think about designing for shifting content quantity. So content, right? Words, text, paragraph, right? 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 words max. Apparently now long form content is on the rise. So it's highly valued and trusted by Google. So think about essay, live experiences, and opinion pieces. But what is really important is to make it easy to read, engaging, and scrollable. And now we're going to see how. White space, guys, is not a waste. It's extremely important. So it makes easier the content to be scanned and absorbed. Website, the most like minimalist of or really more pleasant to see, they have a lot of white space around, strategically placed. Okay, white space is not there because I didn't know what to put. It has been designed. Important. Okay. In case you need to break a bit the text, break chunk of text or make a concept a bit more clear, what is extremely important is to add images, illustrations, photos, or videos. Think that most of the time images are more explanatory than words, right? Images are extremely powerful and needs to be chosen with care, and of course, like not being copy paste from other sources that are not free copyrighted. Okay. Another thing, you have to kind of like create the sense of time. You have to provide milestones. If you have a long text or a longer web page, try to understand if there is a possibility to put like these small dots that will guide you to know where you are in the page, right? They tell you how much you read, how much have you scrolled, right? So it's easy to kind of like knowing that you are almost towards the end if you know that you're missing just one little piece, right? This is called, also pagination. Second point, super important, and one of my favorite points, typography. So it's not only about having a good font or a good looking font. It's also about how is arranged. You see, this is a long text and has been divided by, content, the body on the upper part. There is a title or a concept that you want to highlight, usually stays in between and breaks, and then again content. You see how the text keep things interesting and break the monotony will already pop in the eyes, and the other text, in this case, okay, it's Lorem Ipsum, might be not extremely familiar, but it will maybe slip out. So whatever is a bit bigger and in a stronger, bold font, for sure will make will be more embedded in the mind of your audience and users. So you should put like a call to actions, important informations written using this technique. Okay, so what's another super important thing when we think about website is we think on a desktop, right? On a bigger size, right? That is usually 16:9, like movies, right? But what we recommend usually is designing for mobile screens first. Design for a small screen on a small scales, because whatever is working for the small screen is going to work also for the big one. Okay, so think about mobile first, responsive design. Okay, so we need to think of how to keep the user engaged with how the call to action, will work. I don't know if I'm thinking if there is an example that I encountered lately. I'm using ChatGPT on my mobile phone, and every time the answer comes out from ChatGPT, there is a vibration when the text is appearing. So I know it's a good answer, it's a positive answer. Like vibration on button clicks, for example, is the same. Or another thing we can enhance is a full screen e-commerce experience. Or every time we have a call to action button, the most important one, it has like a nice big color. It's not blended with the background. Okay, let's see an example, right? So if we think of starting first on a desktop view, then might gonna work on an iPad view, a bit smaller, but might not gonna work on a mobile. So there are many websites still that they are all like a squeeze and screw, and at the moment you're gonna open a mobile version, they are like information disappear. You need to scroll infinitely to see the images and so on. So no. Think about to have a website that works first on a mobile. Whatever is going to be small, for sure is going to fit also your bigger size screen, like the iPad and the desktop. But let's see an example with The Atlantic. It's a newspaper. You can see that there is always a header, that's the top part. And you can see how the information is being reduced when you see it from an iPad view on a mobile view. The menu has shrink, but what is really important as stay, that is the subscribe button. It's not anymore big and red, but it's still prominent because it's still red and there, but doesn't really distract you from the reading of the content. As you can see that the biggest article is this one, like big images about Trump. There is a title and a subtitle, and exactly the same article hierarchy stays also towards all the three screens. Okay. In the next, okay, here is much clearer to understand, right? You see how the desktop view looks like made with building blocks that has been just like shifted around, shrinked and shifted. They are not disappearing because now you don't see anymore the aqua color, this light blue, has been pushed below, because those are information that are not extremely primary. They didn't make the head, the title, the front page of the newspaper. Okay. But so this one, you can see how the hierarchy is maintained from the big screen to the small screen. Very, very important. The good thing is that a lot of websites, low code or no code website, are doing that for you. So you don't have to kind of like become an engineer or a Lego expert to just like put things and find the logic of what's coming first and what's going to be after. But this pre-made website, they have already this logic implemented. But it's, of course, good to know to see how these things, of course, works. Okay, we are still thinking on designing for your audience. We have to keep the images light. Maybe this is not something that is extremely known, but everyone loves to have like super crispy, high resolution, big, fantastic images, but they come with a price. They are extremely heavy and they make your website maybe being a bit more like, heavy to load. People might have to wait a couple of seconds more before seeing the page. And these 2 seconds in 2024 right now that we don't have time to wait might gonna cost you the person to maybe leave the website, right? So there are a lot of tools on the website, on the internet that will help you to compress your image like for free when it's possible, of course. If there are images that are there just to support your text, it's important. If there are images that are there for showing a bit more in detail one of your products, so like I don't know, a zoom in of your product, then maybe those are not the best one to be resized because people want to see the details. Okay. So another thing that if you are Instagram users, that's a very easy, I will say, easy way to say. Instagram user, you might have seen that every time you post something, the engine will also ask if you want to add alternate text. So it's a small box where you can describe carefully and in detail, the image that you see. Okay, so this has been extremely useful for search engines, for also make the accessibility of your website to people that they are like visually impaired and they need some tools to support the navigation. So they will not be able to see the image, but there are some software that are able to read what's the description of the image. Okay, this is important, right? 2024, we are talking also about inclusivity, right? So check the image of the 2 dogs. Okay, 2 dogs posing for the camera. We can also say 2 dogs, 1 white, 1 black with a funny bandana are posing for the camera. A bit more in detail. The same for the tiny kitten below. You can say like 4 gray kitten laid on a soft cream puppy kitten bed. Okay. Okay, so let's look into something that I find it like very funny. And when I learned this a long time ago, really it helped to stick on my mind. And make also the internet a bit less like an obscure word, I will say. You have to imagine this is a tiny spider with glasses, like a smart spider. Okay, we look now at the SEO and the content optimization, right? So you imagine this, a tiny spider that is a smart bot. Okay, a smart bot, it looks like a spider. It's a librarian of a digital library. So and it finds a new web page to links, reads new and updated content, and adds it to the library of a digital catalog, so the index. Okay, so imagine all of these small crawler, exactly their name, the crawler, these small, very nice, pleasant spiders that are crawling around the web pages at any given time, always. And this is how the index stays up to date, because they keep reading the information, and as owners of the websites, that we are taking care of, we have to make sure that they read the correct information and they catalog it. Let's see how. So the bot, the crawler, the spider, will first read this title, big. You remember what we're talking about, the typography hierarchy? Big title in the center. For sure, it's going to read the second one. You see the second line still pretty big. Third is going to read the third line, this one, that is a bit slimmer, is a regular font. And then last one, it will read the one on top. Okay, so also the way that informations are displayed, it's really important because it helps the crawler to follow a certain path. Okay, so the top one is a heading, also called H1, if you are familiar with a bit of website coding, HTML. Smaller heading is called H2. Another smaller heading is H3. Usually, you know, you put a title, a tagline, and a bit of like a longer, title, subtitle, and tagline. H3 usually is tagline, where you put a bit more information, and then the content is a paragraph. Okay, now it's also on top, but usually, of course, below, right? So this is also going to be super important for us to understand where to put things that matters for us the most in that moment. So we want people to sign for a newsletter, or we want people to check out sales or like a promotion, something. So see how the red top bar is extremely like on your face. Okay, that most likely that will be the first block that the bot is going to read. Okay, so the moment you organize your content is to provide answer, right? People often search for answers online, right? And this is how they make their way into the website. So rather than just leave them open and just, you know, try to find what they want, just browsing around your website, maybe provide first the offer or the product that is on hype right now on your newsletter. So from the newsletter to the website, people will find immediately what they want because it just needed one click, right? Then second point, you have to organize your content for indexability. So you have to create write your content meaningfully to create a path that the bot can follow, right? You will read the first one, the big one, second, the H2, H3, and so on, right? And this one will ensure that the information that you want to share and the catalog is actually well cataloged, well collected, okay? And present this not to the audience that is already on your website, but to the new customers, because at the end, what we want is to attract a bigger crowd, okay? So you can think on how to organize your content for the user intent. Again, you have to make questions. Imagine that you are your customers right now. You're not the owner of your website. You need to put yourself into the shoes of your user or your user persona. Imagine that you want to know. You have to answer to this question. I want to know. I want to go. I want to do. And I want to buy. Okay? Let's see with the example of the milkshake that we had before. So I want to know how many calories are in a chocolate milkshake. So this is the kind of information that needs to be there prominently. I want to drink a chocolate milkshake near me. So a location, where can I find this? I want to make chocolate milkshake. So I want to be empowered with the knowledge of how to make a chocolate milkshake. So a recipe or a kit, how to make it, I don't know. And I want to order chocolate milkshake online. So a purchase, okay? These 4 points are making the content diverse, but for a very, very enjoyable experience, right? So I want to know, you put the information first and you give answer. You want to go and you put the location first, or a map or address or like neighborhood photos. If you have a product that has a shop. It's a physical product, right? Where people can actually buy, not only online. I want to do it. I want to do experience first. Put reviews, photos, video, live experience stories, as many information as you want to reassure your user that that product is good, is genuine, not counterfeit. It has nice details. Images, as we said, are extremely important and needs to be taken well, I would say almost professionally. But our phone right now, they can do a pretty good job, so it's okay. I want to buy. Product info first. Price. No, don't hide the price. It's the most important thing that everyone wants to know. Photos, again, testimonials, what other people think about that product. A detailed description and a set of FAQ, right? Because we'll help you website owner to give as many answers as the audience needs. They don't have to scrambling around. They need to have everything they need in one place. Make their life easier, and for sure they're gonna be back to your website because they had a very pleasant experience. They didn't have to think so much and lose time. Okay, so just to look a bit on a recap. So we have to look at audience-focused copywriting. So you have to write content that speaks directly to your audience and interest and needs. Use the language they use, no jargon. And then this has to go along also with the tone of voice of your branding. Of course, if you're selling ice cream, chocolate milkshake, the tone might be a bit more, friendly, less formal, a bit more easy, right? Because it's associated to a very fun, pleasant, like a free time experience, right? But if you are, I don't know, you have a product that is more like money related, maybe a bank, maybe, something related to sales, then the tone of voice might be different, right? It has to be like formal. It has to reassure the user. It has to be very proper. Okay, we are not at a coffee shop. More money for sure is involved. So it needs to be reassuring and professional, right? Then what I was saying in the beginning, write for your audience persona. Think who is your user, your archetype, your user persona. Write, if you write for everybody, speaks to nobody. You have to really think of a perfect person, one first, that will go and for sure buy your product. If you're worried that this product will not appeal to a wider range, that's something that you have to put a bit on the side, because again, trying to be liked by everyone is pretty hard, There is this thing, right, to say, I really would like to be like pizza, everyone would like me. But actually, no, right? Not everyone loves pizza. Not everyone loves ice cream. And very good, because you need to have very, very on a target. Your product is to be interested to your target audience, not to everyone, okay? And then there's another thing that can help you when you need to understand how to put your search engine, is to use a tool like Answer the Public. Okay, to understand what the people, your audience is searching for. And let's see a screenshot. Okay, so here we input the word travel. You can see that it stays in the center. But then on the side, look at the legend. And the darker orange is the highly searched sentences, while the more faded is the one that are not really well searched. So people are actually, if you look, are really worried or more interested about insurance most of the time. You can see why travel insurance is important, which travel insurance is best, where travel design. So there are, okay, what travel insurance should I get? So you can see that the main worry here is more about like spending money for an insurance. The lowest one search is, are travel credit card worth it? Yeah, because now I think all the credit cards are really working fine everywhere. What is the another? Who travel around the world first? Okay, yeah, there are not so many people that needs to get this kind of answer, this question answered. Okay, it's quite nice. It's a fun tool. I will invite you maybe after the webinar to just play a bit. It's quite interesting. Okay, let's go back into now. Let's put some of our knowledge like into actions. And what I said in the beginning, we are gonna come out from this webinar with actually some tools, free tools, important, that you can actually use it from now, immediately, right after, again, the webinar, to start understand the analytics of your website. After understanding and collecting your data, you understand where things could be corrected, where things are going well, where things are maybe, they need a bit of a second pair of eyes, okay? All of these, Google Search Console, Google Analytics, Metapixel, and Hotjar. I'm not sure if you heard about it. Maybe the first two are very famous, a bit more famous. Last a bit more obscure, okay? So these tools are data-driven decision-making, extremely important. So analytics tools give you a wealth of data to understand the user behavior and to make then informed change, because you will never know where and how your user will use your website if you don't have data, okay? So let's look at the first tool, Google Search Console. Google Search Console is a free platform that helps you track and analyze your website SEO performance. Pretty easy. It's a dashboard, so doesn't require a huge knowledge on reading this kind of data, because over a span of time, you can see on the X, then you're gonna see the amount of clicks and amount of impressions, for example, right? You can see a total clicks, you can see a total impression, and then there are a bit of more breakdown into the data. Using Google Search Console is also helping you to identify troubleshoot technical and page performance issue, because maybe that page is not really, the crawler are not really able to index it, or there is an issue too heavy, something. So in this case, you're going to see if this page is reachable, of course, right? The three things to do using Google Search Console, important. One, track keywords rankings. So like we said on data, the wheel, right? It tried to understand which are the words that are reaching, the search words that are reaching your website. They're going to measure impressions. They're going to measure organic traffic, average position, and a click-through rate, this CTR, this one that we saw on the back, right? Very little in this point, right? Okay. Then they are also, confirming that the crawlers are properly indexing your web pages. Okay. If all crawlers are able to reach all web pages, is good. If something that is not visited, might be a problem. We need to check. And of course, identify troubleshoot page experience or mobile usability issue, because they divide from desktop experience to mobile experience. Might be that your page loads very, very well on your desktop, but it's too big to be loaded on mobile. So again, you need to take action for the user to access that page. Second tool, Google Analytics. This one, personally, I really like it. I find it very easy, and a bit addictive even, because the moment you start to install it, you really start to see where your visitors are. You start to track them. You start to understand also, for example, you see a bit of more demographics. You understand where your clicks come from, right? You can see if your product is very, very interested, maybe only on a Singapore area, could be maybe Southeast Asia, or somehow there is somebody from, United States or Europe that are actually interested in your product. And then you can try to understand why, right? So Google Analytics helps organizations determine the top sources of user traffic, right? You can gauge the success of their marketing activities and campaign. You can track the goal completion, so you can see if a user completes the purchase or adding other products to the cart, or you can also see if it's abandoned the cart for some reasons. And you can discover patterns and trends in user engagement. So you can really obtain a lot of information about your users. This is really, guys, one of my favorite, and again, could be addictive the moment you are adding it to your website. Again, for free, very easy. It's just one line of code. Okay, so the three things to do with using Google Analytics. You get to know who was on your website. You see what users are interested in, which languages speak, which cities, the country they're from, and then you make also decision out of that, right? You get to know what action are being taken on your website. Who has purchased your product, who has abandoned the cart, how many times the videos, if your videos were played, or how many times, I don't know, freebies, download material has been downloaded. You get to know when the different actions were taken on your website. So you have to shift the range, the date range, to analyze relevant content within a time frame. So depends, I don't know if you connect anything to, I don't know, festivities or a particular time of the year, you're going to see how the products they perform best. Depends on, month over month trends or year trends, or again, there is a specific things that happen in that period. Another one, Metapixel, was a Facebook pixel in the past. This one looks a very, very straightforward interface, very easy, again, time and clicks on the axis. So it collects data that helps you track conversion from Facebook and Instagram ads for then optimize the ads, building target audience for future ads, and remarket to people who have already take action on your website. So this one is very good if you are applying advertisement in Facebook and Instagram, and you understand what's your target audience behavior. A good tip will be to install Metapixel before running the first ads, because in the meanwhile, it starts working. It starts to collect data right away, so you don't have to start from scratch when you're ready to create the first ads. You can already see the time where people are more active on your website. So for sure, you're not going to put your advertisement at, I don't know, 9 in the morning. If people are rather going to visit your website at the end of a working day, for example, okay? And all this information has been given you with this Metapixel before the campaign. Okay, three top things, the three takeaway. So use conversion tracking. So you see how people interact with your website after viewing your Facebook or Instagram account. ID, more or less, the advertisement, to gain insights. So they land on your website after they've seen it on Facebook or Instagram, okay? Try to use retargeting ads for people that already have visited your website. And maybe they left something, or maybe you know that there is a specific product that can go, they purchased it already, and there is another product that can match well. I don't know, I'm thinking about, let me think, brainstorming right now, like a product for, I don't know, a scent for yourself that you really like. And maybe the website is also suggesting to buy that perfume also for your house, you know. You really like it, so you can use it on your curtains, on your bedding, and so on. I'm just saying. So create lookalike audience. So build a lookalike audience with people who have similar interests. and demographics, right? Because they most likely be able to purchase the same range of products, right? Maybe they are, people that really enjoy to have their house smelling good, smelling nice. Back to the example of the ambient spray, and they are already interacting with your website. So in this way, you have to think of your audience, think of who they are, the interest, and in this way, you can expand a bit more the potential of your customer base. Okay. Hotjar. This is also super interesting, in my opinion. Very, very interesting. Hotjar, as it said, it find hotspots, right? It's a tool that allows you to visualize the map, the heat map, on how users engage with your site with interactive heat maps. You can see their click, their actions. You can record the session and gather in the feedback. Hotjar show where people again are scrolling, are tapping, maybe are just hovering. They display actually the user behavior in a way that you might not gonna see it. So this is different compared to Google Analytics because it's not only where people click, but you also see how the page has been scanned. Are the people, you can see now the example here on the screen, you can see that a lot of people has checked immediately the subscribe button, the button in red, but also the first of the menu. We now don't know what is it. I don't remember, honestly. I think it's maybe about or maybe prices. But the second item on the menu has been very, very, it catch attention. And then you can see also the first item in the list of the small preview, right? Heat maps, okay? The more red is it, the more color, and they have a halo around, the more people has been look at it. Super nice, super interesting. Again, addictive. So 3 things to do while using Hotjar. You can use, heat map to visualize user behavior. You visualize in a glance how people are using the website. You can discover, the most and least active part of your deck. Or your webinar. I was looking at the question here. You can use a screen recording to see the actual user interaction. So you can really record the session with a person that is testing your website, and you can detect where people might get stuck, right? Where they are frustrated, like they don't know where to click next because maybe the button is not visible. The video is too small. There are ways to see if your website is actually working or not, because us as let's call it web designer, graphic designer, people that own the product, we have a perception. We have seen that website like a millions over time. So we think that some stuff might be, of course, stuff are there. Why you haven't seen it, But we don't have to take these things for granted. People might not pay attention enough to certain areas, okay? So don't come up with this idea of course it's easy, because what for us we think it's easy might not be easy for your audience. And if the audience doesn't see the website easy, they might not gonna come back again, losing sales for sure. Other thing, use feedback and surveys to learn what users think. You have to collect feedback on individual pages or product feature to learn what people love and what needs to improve. Again, exactly what I said before. Maybe a button is not well visible. People might come back because they want return an item or return a certain things. So all these kind of buttons cannot be hidden. Of course, we don't want our product back, of course, but we need to make the experience easier, even if it's not a happy journey. We need to make the user able to return or rethink about their purchase in an easy way. And for sure, this behavior will be rewarded because the user will feel well taken care. Okay. To answer a question, yes, I think we're gonna get a copy of the PowerPoint. Let me check later. For sure, gonna get online the online recording. So using overall, so we analyzed the four free. Remember, guys, free that you can use it right 11:30. These four tools. So utilizing analytics for improvement here is important because we need to make a data-driven website updates, right? They cannot run by themselves. We need to keep taking care and understand if they perform well or not, right? Website optimization is an ongoing process. So we need to check regularly the data collected to understand the areas of improvement. Of course, maybe daily is not ideal time because then, you start to lose a lot of time. You can start to set up windows like in 7 days, within 2 weeks, within a month, within 3 months. Campaigns takes quite some time before they get effective. Okay, so daily checking might not gonna give a precise answer. Okay, then start to implement 1 or 2 strategies we discussed today. You have to track the changes and measure the impact. Doing everything in one go, yeah, it might be not the wisest decision because it will just make your attention be scattered. Too many things to take care, too many things, too many data. One tool to start first and understand if that one gives you the right data, and then eventually pass with the second one, for example. Just to give you a couple of final tips for website optimization, right? When we said in the beginning that if you don't have a website yet, and might be looking like a really, really difficult things to do, a rocket science, my God, website, where do I start? Currently, 2024, there are a lot of companies that they see the potential of allowing, let's say, normal people that are no developers, no graphic designers, no engineers, that are to allow, to build their own website. So there are paid and non-paid tools. Some are free, some of it not, with a no-code or low-code tool to build up a simple one-page website. There is Wix Studio, maybe you heard about it. Framer is a bit more complicated. Squarespace, cool, good looking, but a bit expensive. Webflow also quite easy, but there are like tons of tutorials online, like crazy big amount of tutorial to build one of these websites. But it's also, can also say that designers are also there to help, and it will not cost you much to just ask a designer to build up a website quickly using one of these platforms if you don't have the time, because still it's time consuming. But if you're looking to rebuild or optimize your website on something that exists already, you have to start to analyze your website goals. Again, what we said in the beginning, why we do this, for who, when they're going to assess it, how is their experience, how is their journey on my website. You need to start answering all these questions to make sure that every like there are no bottlenecks, there are no unanswered questions. Okay, and then the last things, again, 2024, we have AI on even our phones, our personal assistants, anything that we need an answer. I'm pretty sure that ChatGPT or Claude or many other free tools will help us to answer without losing time, hours and hours on, for example, YouTube, for example. Okay. So just to close up a bit, we were seeing like 3 blocks of action plans, okay, that we can do immediately to improve the optimize your website. 1 is conduct a website audit. Okay, you need to be extremely honest. Sit in front of your website, add the Google Analytics, Hotjar, and analyze the current website performance, right? You need to understand where are the areas that needs to get improved in terms of speed, in content, and user experience. We also talk about website design. So you have to implement a responsive design to ensure mobile compatibility. You remember, website has to be extremely readable and fast and quick to load when you sit on your laptop, on your iPad, and also on the go on your mobile while traveling on the MRT. Okay. You have to improve navigation and layout based on user behavior and preferences. So if you see that user will most likely prefer to purchase items that are already shown on the front page, place it in the most easier way to find them. Not in the bottom, not hidden somewhere, straight on their face, so they don't have to lose time trying to find them, and they're going to be happy user at the end. And then the other thing on the graphic design part is try to ensure that the visual elements are pleasant and everything is aligned with your brand identity. Maintain the right typography, the right colors. People should be enhanced and pleased by the look and feel of your website. They don't have to feel like a repulse or, oh my God, I need to do this. It's going to be a pain. Okay, this would be a very, very nice experience also because colors, images, videos, typography is very well, very well blended together. Then we talk about speed, right? So remember, images not useful if they are super heavy, super crispy, if you're not really selling like backgrounds for laptops, right? So compress the image, use a web tool that is gonna help you to make your page loading faster. Don't use so much like a heavy script, okay? And not too many plugins, not too many pop-ups or stuff or animation that are happening. They are just gonna slow down your website. Not every time will make the experience more premium, okay? Remember, simplicity is the key. Minimalism over maximalism on website design, best, okay? And then the other thing is use test page speed, like Google page speed inside to see how fast your website is loading. Second point of the action plan, you have to refine the SEO and the content, right? You have to conduct the keyword research, what we saw on the wheel with the travel keywords, right? And try to research for relevant to your business and audience, right? You have to optimize your website content and meta tags and keywords. So to make all these things easier for your crawler, your spiders to be fine. Just try to create valuable and engaging content, regularly improve searching ranking. So take care of what you say. Eventually engage a copywriter. That is it's good to give you the right suggestion of how these things might be well written. ChatGPT can also help, of course. Try to also improve user engagement. So make sure that your call to actions, not only buttons, but also sentences and what you invite your user to do are very clear. Optimize landing pages, increase conversion rate. Again, if you know that most of the people will look for certain products immediately, just put them on a landing page. Make their life easier. They're going to purchase it in one go quickly. And then the other thing that we haven't talked about much in deep is utilize A/B testing. If you're not sure if one option is better than the other, you just have to run a simple test. Doesn't have to be weeks and weeks. Find I don't know, an example. 5 users will utilize the web page that looks like this, A. Other 5 users or 10 users will utilize the page that will look like B, and then compare the results. Super easy. Very, very simple. Okay. Then the other thing is try to leverage analytics for continuous improvement. What we say, data are the most important things that you can have. Data will give you the answer to all your questions, and your user will give you all these knowledge that you will never get, right? Numbers are important. So install these, Google Analytics, Google Search Console, and so on, to track the user behavior, conversion, and use also key performance indicators, KPI, right? Last one, just a point. You have to stay updated with the trends and the best practice, we are in an era where everything is running extremely fast. So whatever works now, today, it might not gonna work next month. This doesn't mean that we have to constantly look for updates or, keep going for webinars and workshops. But, if you're taking care of your product like this, keep an eye on understand how the algorithms change, because keep changing. They keep changing. So educations and being curious and being up to date is important, right? Also, the other thing is update regularly your website. The moment you've done it once, you cannot say, okay, just I forget, fine, park it there, task completed. It takes a bit also to check if the plugins are working, again, if the user are able to reach your product, and so on. All of this takes a bit of time and care, like everything, care for your website. And then seek feedback. Last point, seek feedback and iterate, gather feedback from your user with surveys and feedback tools. Try to really understand what they like and what they don't with very direct questions, okay? Ask them to track a certain journey from 1 to 10, or give, the emotions, like pleasant, unpleasant, very unpleasant experience. You start to understand how, if the user are actually happy with what they see. Try to implement the changes based on the feedback, right? Again, there are really important data that helps you to make your website better. And then treat your website optimization as an ongoing process. Again, not a one-time task. What we said before, one time is not part there, it needs care, like plant. Okay. And that's it. Like, wow, in one go, we arrived to the last page. Good. I hope everything was clear. Maybe for some of you might be, like kind of like obvious, like, yeah, of course, I know all of these. But knowing that actually all of these things, product, position, colors, typography, are not obvious for most of the people. And there are things that needs to be taken account. So if you can scan the QR code and just do a short survey. I give you, few minutes. Let's say, let me see. Yeah, 5 minutes. Now is it the 11:05? Let me track the time. Okay. If the service is very short, we can also, you tell me and move forward. Couple of housekeeping additional information. If somebody has completed, just like send me a small like ping in the chat. Okay, just one thumb up. Okay, let's move next. Okay. There are other workshops actually. So if you like what we have done today, if you like the topic, you find it useful, and would you like to acquire a bit more knowledge, there are other 3 workshops around optimization, AI, and so on. So this Thursday, there's going to be another one where we can explore on how to create on-brand content with AI. That is not only answering question like, okay, where I can go, travel, how safe is Australia, stuff like that, but can actually save a lot of times if you are content creators or you need to be working with a lot of content. Okay, this is next Thursday. Then we have another one. How to write better than cringe copywriting using ChatGPT. Because sometimes ChatGPT might sound a bit like too fakey, mechanic. There are some nice small tips that can help you to really make it like with the tone of voice that you really want, and that is gonna be next Monday. No, I remember 21. Okay, this one is on Monday. Saturday. Yeah. Okay. So how to build? This is super interesting, Martin. I like how to build no or low code custom AI workflows. Okay, good, because this one is really unveiling what we think is going to be, rocket science, super hard to get. Oh my God, how to do this kind of stuff. AI can really help, but we need to teach well AI following certain steps. Okay, unfortunately, it's at the end of the day, so might be a bit hard for some of you, but as you find it like pleasant, this workshop, you can just like plug it down, like plug it, listen it, and then just absorb like a podcast, right? I love podcasts. Okay, so guys, I want to thank you so much for the 14 people that stayed until the end. We made it a bit like quite short, and I hope your Tuesday is going great as well. Just if you have any other questions, you can reach me on LinkedIn or directly you can find Media House website that is also helping you with any or other doubts that you have. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Have a very, very great day and week. Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chanel. Thank you, Solomon. Thank you, Hesmon. Thank you, Giovina. You wrote in Italian.